Good morning, everybody. Glad to have you here today. Thank you for joining me. If you want to follow along, we will be back in the letter of First John, chapter number 3, beginning in verse number 2. And there, John says, "Beloved, we are God's children now." We could stop right there, to be honest with you. We'll come back to it. What we will be has not yet appeared, but we know that when he appears, we shall be like him, because we shall see him as he is. And everyone who thus hopes in him purifies himself as he is pure. Um, what a marvelous statement here when he says, we are God's children now. Not we hope to be God's children, but we are already God's children. If you've given your life to Christ, if you are a follower, you are now the child of God. He says now, everything we're going to be hadn't appeared yet. Everything that we still have a future hope that when he appears we will be like him. There is a future for the believer. The world may not see who we are, may not see all that we are in Christ. He says, but at his appearing, when he returns, he says we will be purified, we will receive glorified bodies, we will have the eternal, the final promise that he has given us, that where he's going to prepare a place for us, that where he is, there we may be also, and so that is the hope of a believer. It reminds me, as I read over this passage this morning, it made me think of that little children's song. He's still working on me to make me what I ought to be. And that's what John is saying here. He's still working on us. When he appears, we're going to be like him, and we'll see him as he is. And then he says something very important. It's easy to get caught and hung up and stuck, quite honestly, in verse 2, and just really just kind of revel in the joy of verse 2, of that promise that we have of the appearing of Jesus Christ. But then he says that everybody that hopes in him, that has this hope, purifies himself. Everybody that has this hope purifies himself. Because we have a hope, because we have the promise of his return, then we don't want to wait to begin to act like him. We don't want to wait to begin to live like him, to be like him, to talk like him. If we have the hope of a future, if we have the hope of Christ coming and returning and taking us and making us like him, then the person with that kind of hope wants to start worshiping and living for him and living like him now. We don't want to wait. We don't want to live however the world treats us, or we don't want to live like the world now and wait for God to fix us. We want to start cleaning up now, being like Jesus. It makes me think of a story. I asked a lady one time. She was a cosmetologist, and one of the services she offered was pedicures. And I just be honest with you, I just cannot imagine me ever being able to give someone to get down and scrub and rub and mess with somebody's old nasty feet. And I asked her about it one time. I said, how do you do that? I said, I think I'd gag. I don't think I could stand getting down there and messing with people's old feet. My luck, I'd get somebody who had been walking barefoot in the barnyard. But she said, "Oh no," she says, "it's not that bad." She said, people who are coming to get a pedicure know that somebody's going to be looking at their feet, somebody's going to be handling their feet, right? Down there, and so they do a lot of the work for me. They said they'll scrub their feet and make sure they're good and clean, and before I ever get to them. Well, that's the way. I'll take a word for it, but that's the way that if we have the hope that Jesus Christ is going to appear and make us like Him, as believers, we'll want to get a head start and start living for Him and living like Him right now. Do you have that hope? If you do, are you living for Him, living like Him, getting ready to meet Him? Think about it. You have a good day. We'll see you here tomorrow morning.